Delegation of the United Nations Security Council is visiting areas affected by the Boko Haram militants in West Africa to raise awareness on the ongoing humanitarian challenges as well as draw attention on the plight of the millions of people killed and displaced by the terrorist group. VOA's UN correspondent Margaret Besheer is traveling with the delegation and has our report.
The UN Security Council is in Nigeria today, wrapping up a 4-day visit to the Lake Chad region. They started in Cameroon on Friday, where they traveled to Marwa in the far north and met with IDPs and refugees there to understand the situation a little better. From Marwa, they went on to N'Djamena in Chad. They had a briefing by the multinational Joint Task Force commander. That task force is made up of the 4 Lake Chad region countries and Benin. They have about 10,000 soldiers on the ground fighting Boko Haram. The commander told them that the group is on the back foot and they have been substantially degraded militarily, but that they still pose a threat to civilians because of their capabilities with suicide bombers primarily. From Chad, the council arrived in Niger, where they met with President Issoufou, and from Niger they arrived here in Nigeria, starting in Maiduguri in the far north in Borno State, where they met with IDPs in a camp up there. And today they're in Abuja, where they're meeting with ECOWAS and the Vice President. I think the main takeaways so far from this trip have been that this is really a multi-layered crisis. You have a security and protection crisis related to Boko Haram, which has now turned into a humanitarian crisis because of the substantial food shortages in the region. Then you have a massive displacement, and from that you have the countries are coping here with the effects of climate change, with conflict in Libya. We heard everywhere we went that foreign fighters and weapons are flooding these countries from Libya and also from Mali, posing additional problems. And then you have, on top of this, the recession in Nigeria, the strongest economic power among the countries in the Lake Chad Basin, and their recession is really affecting the economies in the other countries as well.
Well, a senior Nigerian military official says the cause of the accidental military bombing of a displaced persons camp in the country's northeast in January was a result of an incorrect coordinates. Nigerian Major General Leo Hirabol told a visiting UN Security Council delegation Sunday the January 17th bombing in the town of Ran, which killed 236 civilians, was a grave mistake that was the result of faulty information. At the time of the attack, aid distribution was taking place and many women and children were killed, as well as at least 9 humanitarian workers from the Nigerian Red Cross and the International Committee for the Red Cross.